Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tropical Fruit Man, and we're not at Mark and Cindy's food forest in Lutz, Florida today. Instead, we're at my friend Conrad's house, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at his mangoes. He's got a lot of varieties of mangoes that he's growing. He's only about 10 minutes from my house, so he's still in Lutz. And basically, he's the one who got me into growing mangoes. And I basically wasn't into mangoes until I saw how he was growing them, and now I'm motivated to grow them. So let me introduce you to my friend Conrad, my good friend and brother in the faith. How you doing, Conrad?
Really good, man. How you doing, Mark?
Doing good. All right, so tell us, how long have you been growing mangoes?
Since I moved to this house about 11 years ago. 11 years now, and I think I bought my first mango tree about 10 years ago, shortly after we moved in. Back then, a couple of these trees were, in 3-gallon pots. They were pretty small, but so about 10 years.
Okay. How many varieties of mangoes do you have?
Of my larger trees,
Yes.
they are. There's 5 of those trees that are a little bit larger, so somewhere in the range of 10 to 8 years old.
Okay.
And then I have a couple that are medium-sized, and those are probably, we bought those together at the plant festival
At USF.
Yeah, that was what, about 3 years ago?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, so they were in 3-gallon pots about 3 years ago, and you'll see them on the back side of this. So that's 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
And then I have a couple, 4 of them that I just recently bought from Truly Tropical in Boynton Beach. Some real special varieties. They're still small. They're only 3-gallon pots.
And you brought me back one of the coconut cream.
Oh, they were excellent, weren't they?
They were great. Now, you're the one that told me that if you don't like mangoes, it's because
you haven't tasted the right one yet, or you haven't tasted a tree-ripened mango yet.
That's right. That's right. Big difference from the store-bought ones, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry to Publix or any of the other stores. I can't stand those mangoes. They're not worth eating.
Yeah, these are great. What you got going on here? Well, go ahead and show us around. Show us some of the mangoes that you have, and let's talk about them as we go along.
Yeah, you saw some of these just here a moment ago. This is a Khit tree. A very, you can tell by the size of them. This thing's probably 1.5 pounds. This is a very low fiber, great tasting mango. Very hardy, very tough. I haven't had any problems with this tree. It's pretty disease resistant. Great flavor. Of course, you can see I had an unusual year this year. It's kind of a late bloomer this year, and set fruit at the second blooming. So it's kind of like picking up the rear end here. Most of my other trees have already been picked out.
Gotcha.
Here we have this one is almost, I have a hard time keeping it under control. This is a Doc Mai tree, Indo-Chinese Mango. It's about done picking. I think there's 1 or 2 left in there. We'll maybe look in there today and see if we find the last one. Very, very sweet mango, almost to the point that it reminds me of like a cotton candy. Extremely low fiber, hardly any fiber. More of a pale inside, not a deep orange. But very, very, if you like sweet mangoes, and actually the tree's easy to grow. As you can tell, I'm not an expert at diseases, but it's very disease resistant, and it just grows like crazy, almost out of control. So
awesome.
It's a vigorous grower, but great mango, really good mango, big mangoes.
Okay.
Then we got, of course, the Jamaican favorite. This is a small Julie tree. Some of these trees you'll see, they had some frost damage. That's one of the things we struggle with in Lutz, right? Yep. Had some frost damage a couple of years ago, and here is the original trunk, and it's growing back. Julies are kind of a little notorious for being tough to put on, to set fruit. I didn't get any Julies this year off of it, but hopefully next year. But of course, Julie's got that great coconutty, true mango flavor with very little fiber.
And so the coconut cream's related to that.
Yeah, coconut and Carrie.
And the Carrie too.
Yeah, this is a Carrie, which is a lot like the Namdoc in the sense that it is a vigorous grower, very disease resistant. I'm happy about that. It's easy to grow, great flavor, great scented. The fruit, most of these the Doc Mai and the Carrie, it's not that they are beautiful fruit. Here's one right here. Not that they're pretty fruit, but they have a very good flavor. So I'm not so concerned about the looks of the fruit as the quality of the fruit.
Right.
So this is probably about the last one I got on the Carrie tree.
Okay.
tell it's putting on some new flush. It's getting some new growth and set it up for bearing next year.
Yep.
A couple of buds coming, and this is good. It's putting on some new growth for next year. Just about wrapping up. And here's one right here. Actually, looks like one of the last ones to come off. It's a good sized Carrie.
There it is. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful looking mango.
It is pretty clean.
Yeah.
Clean. It'll turn as it ripens. It'll turn yellow. You'll see it get to about this color up here. Smelling a little bit.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's a good looking Carrie mango there. Then back there I have this is a Glen mango. That's another one that grows like crazy, and so it's a very fiberless, smooth mango. Not as bold a flavor as say Carrie, Julie. Maybe more in the vein of Doc Mai when it comes to flavor.
Right.
But it's fiberless. It does not have any fiber. Very smooth tasting mango. I have no problems with it growing too as well. I started these plants in pots, as you can see.
Yep.
And I saw a lady in Sarasota growing them like this. These have since yet grown out of the pots and now are growing into the ground.
Right.
And so they were just, there's another Carrie mango in there. A couple in there I never saw.
I see it.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that in there. It looks like it's about ready to pick too. Mark, I'm able to send you home with one.
Ah, I made out.
Yeah, let's get that one picked because this tree is about ready to I need to see. I've been pruning off excess growth for next year. Oh, there's another one, Mark. Look at that one. That's probably even more ready to go.
Wow.
So I'll prune that off. I'll send you home with one, man.
Awesome. You know how I hate mangoes now.
That's right. Yeah. I got the other two I got here is this is a Cog Shall.
Okay.
And I first tasted a Cog Shall from the same lady in Sarasota that I tasted the Glen from, and where she was growing them in pots, and it was an amazing tasting mango. Big mango, probably the size of about this Carrie, and just really fiberless and sweet, and had a nice strong bold flavor. So this tree I pruned off the flowers, the bloom from last year, because I wanted to just continue to push it to grow. So it's about to the age now where I can start getting a few mangoes off. So next spring, my hope is that I'll get a few Cog Shall on it. And then, and one thing, I'll show you this. Maybe for your viewers out there might be able to help me. The best thing I've found to deal with, this is a little bit of mango scale. I think this is what this is. This is mango scale. It's a small insect that feeds on the sap of the leaves, and then it leaves these lesions.
Gotcha.
And so the thing I've been using to control this, I don't use any chemical pesticides. I've been using sesame oil.
Gotcha.
It seems to control it. It controls it and stops the spread, but it doesn't seem to eradicate it. So the sesame oil is the best thing I found. I tried sulfur. Didn't really see much effect of that. But I've got a treat. They tend to gravitate towards the Cog Shall than they do the other varieties.
Right.
I will say, it seems that you'll see the leaves that are infected by the mango scale, are the leaves that are underneath and that don't get exposure. So I think that's one of the challenges I have to deal with, is the fact that I have a very compact yard because of the cold temperatures here. I keep them close together so they can keep each other warm. So that's one of the things I struggle with, that and anthracnose and powdery mildew, which are treated well with sulfur and copper.
Okay.
This you would recognize. You have one of these. It's a Pickering tree. We got it at the same time. A nice small condo mango. A great tasting mango. Like you said, it reminds me of the Carrie and the Julie. And very similar flavor. Yep. Maybe mine were. This was the first year I got fruit off of it. I had 2 fruit. You can see I had a couple of years ago a little bit of frost damage. Yep. Right here, but it's come back really well. And so I picked the last one off of it, and it's ripening. I showed you a little earlier. So
it's got a good flavor. It's a little complex, but it's still mild, though.
Yes, yes. And it's like yours, just like yours. It bears very strongly, even when it's small.
Yeah, very early.
Very early. Yes. So that's been this has been a good tree for me. So I'm looking, hopefully this one can get nearly as big as the Cog Shall over the rest of the summer here, and next year look to get some more fruit. I got 2 this year. Maybe I can get 10 next year. Who knows?
Yeah.
So that's it for the bigger mango trees.
Okay.
And I got these, and so I got a couple of small ones, and I will give my shout out to Truly Tropical. They are.
Let's take a look at those real
yeah.
quick.
Got a lot of information online from them about mangoes. They have a lot of information about pruning and about propagating, about growing and picking mangoes, so in different varieties. I had seen some of these varieties in their videos, trying to get some mango trees that have a smaller growth habit and that really have a strong and good taste. And so I picked up a Fairchild mango. I've not had one of these yet.
Okay.
I picked up a Dwarf Hawaiian. I've not had one of those either, but I heard they're really good. I picked up a Coconut Cream. We got a couple of those mangoes. They were excellent.
Yep.
Got some new growth coming on that one. I'm happy about that. And then this one is a Neelam, which I've not had, but the guy who I bought it from when I was down there, he said he had a Neelam tree and he was really high on them as well. So generally a vigorous grower, but something that I can also maintain in like a 10 to 12 foot size tree, so I can keep them warm during the winter time.
Awesome. I also see you have quite a few pineapples going on here.
Yeah, the pineapples I've learned, these are, I always tell people, grow what grows well in the landscape. And, pineapple is certainly one of it. It's been very easy to grow. I will grow them from this will produce another mango plant. I'll chop off the top and grow it. I've got enough plants here that I think I have about 30 or 40 pineapples in here.
Yep.
Wow, you can really smell that thing.
That looks beautiful.
Yeah, so it's a good looking, this is a good looking pineapple.
Awesome.
Here
And you also got some banana plants going on here too.
Yep. All of these are, an Indian gentleman gave me 1 or 2 plants several years ago. It's very similar to a variety that grows in Jamaica. And you see the bananas here. It's a smaller, thicker, smoother banana, if you ask me, than and sweeter.
Yes.
It has tangy and sweet. When you compare it to a regular banana, I love those bananas. They taste really good.
Yeah, I tasted some of those. They are very good.
Yeah.
Good flavor.
I'll get a couple before you leave. And then, of course, you gave me the
ice cream
blue
banana.
Java or ice cream banana that's right next to it.
Yep.
You can see it's growing. These banana trees grow almost out of control. I mean, they're easy growers and they grow fast. And so.
Awesome. Now, before we go, real quick, when your last mango is picked off of one of the mango trees, basically you give it a pruning, and at what point do you start to give it maybe some fertilizer, and then you wait for the blooms and you give it copper, correct?
Yeah. So I'm gonna this what I've learned over the years and what I've learned from online is, like that mango that we just picked at Carrie, I'll prune off that, that panicle and growth, but right below the point at which it branches. And in the effort to get that to branch in a couple of branches before next year, because that new growth is what's going to flower. So you want to have multiple branches coming out of that so that you're getting multiple flowers out of it for next year. So what I'll do is, right now I'm getting ready to fertilize, and some of them, like the Glen tree and the Doc Mai, which is fruited out, I put some fertilizer on those already in prep for the fall. And since we're cold here, ours tend to bloom a little bit later than other bloomers. As you can tell, that Khit still got fruit on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in preparation for our bloom in January, February. We're going to start in October, November, starting with the potash, high potash fertilization to try to push bloom and fruit.
You put some in the ground, and then on the ground, then you put some, you spray some also on the actual leaves.
Yeah, give it a light spray, half tablespoon per gallon of the potash, and then also, as well as the fertilizer for the ground I picked up from Truly Tropical as well.
Okay.
It's a high potash, it's 0 nitrogen fertilizer.
Gotcha.
Yep. You have to promote the fruiting and flowering. Yep.
Okay.
And then and you'll notice it rained last night.
Yep.
But here, between the shading of the trees and just the humidity and still air, everything is soaking wet.
Yeah.
So it's really damp here. So since it's so damp, I got to fight mildew and I got to fight anthracnose in the springtime when it blooms.
Right.
So right before it blooms, as you see those buds swelling to bloom, I'll hit it with a spray of copper.
Okay.
And then once it fully blooms, try to get it before the bees find it in the morning, get another spray of copper, and then when it starts to set a little fruit, like pea-sized fruit, another spray of copper, just to deal with the fungal growth and the powdery mildew. But I found that was the trick. It was, I was getting typical attack from fungus and powdery mildew, and I was having a problem with fruit set. Once I figured that out, the fruit was setting.
Smooth sailing from there.
Big time.
Awesome.
100% difference.
Awesome.
So.
All right. Well, I appreciate you inviting me over today and taking a look at what you have. You have a nice little setup here. Everything looks like really good. Isn't God's creation amazing?
It is, and it's enjoyable to enjoy the fruits of your labor, and you can tell that there's a creator because of the complexity and the beautiful design and the way plants fruit and how they produce and what they're for, and you know they're there for our benefit. So.
Amen. And growing, both of us are growers, and we get to see it up front and close, and it's just truly amazing.
Yep. Too bad you can't catch scent through the video.
Yeah,
you'd be able to
too
smell
bad.
this
It's a
thing.
beautiful looking pineapple.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, there's also, look over there. There's a couple carambola, star fruit. You see the star fruit?
Yeah, I see them.
Yeah. This year, this springtime, I didn't have a heavy bloom, but there's several on there. There's probably about 20 on there. Normally, I get a crop that is out of control, generally in the springtime or in the summertime. But this year, it's a little bit of a light bloom. But there they are. You can see
Yep.
them. So, yeah, I'll have some star fruit as well.
How cool. All right. Well, thank you for having me over. The Lord's truly blessed your work here, and it's been a pleasure talking to you and sharing with everybody out there on my channel more about mangoes and learning a little bit more and seeing more varieties. So until next time, keep growing and be blessed.